Club football is back this week with a bang, but if you support either Hearts, Hibs or Partick Thistle, then you're probably looking for a time machine to go back to the internationals when Scotland were qualifying for major tournaments, because the only thing those three clubs qualified for this weekend was absolute ass whoopings. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. It is Fog Football, and today we are here to look through the Matchday 9 results for the SPFL review show. It's Matchday 10, 11, I think, for the smaller leagues or the lower leagues or whatever. Look, it was a depleted card this week. There was barely any football on here, so I'm not going to debate who was playing what game. There's some teams playing Matchday 7, some are playing 8, 9, 10, 11. Who cares? The weather, the storms, pretty much decimated the fixture card this week, but sometimes there is more important things than football, so hopefully everybody affected by the storm, which name I totally forget, but if you've been affected by the storm, then hopefully you can recover and all that. But you know what, we will start in League 2 because why not? Bonnyrigg Rose defeated Clyde by 3-2. We had East Fife defeating Stranraer by 4-0. Pretty good win there for East Fife. And the Spartans defeated Dumbarton. And I think I actually predicted the Spartans to win that. Cameron Russell and Bradley White with the goals to give Spartans a 2-0 victory. Only 3 of the 5 games this week made it for League 2. And now if we look at the League 2 table, we can see that Peterhead have only played 9 games, but they're still top of the table. So they've got a game in hand, and they're still up front. That's what they want to see. But it's very close behind them. You've got Dumbarton, the Spartans, Stenhousemuir, and Bonnyrigg Rose, all separated with just 2 points. Stenhousemuir, though, have only played 8 games. Keep in mind that if they win both their games, they could potentially go ahead of Peterhead. So a couple important games coming up for Stenhousemuir. As for Clyde, lost again this week. Yeah, they're not last, but they've played 2 games more than Elgin City, and they could find themselves last once Elgin get those games in hand played. So, yeah, Clyde definitely struggling in the League 2. It's strange that Peterhead and Clyde both came down, but one's looking so good and the other one looking not too good, but you know, whatever, that is what it is. Let's move into League 1 then. Alloa Athletic 3. Kelty Hearts 1, and I guess Heart of Midlothian weren't the only Hearts to get smashed this week. Kelty Hearts on the bad end of a defeat to Alloa Athletic. The Wasps with goals from Bradley Rodden, Scott Taggart and Taylor Stephen, giving them a 3-1 win at the Indodrill Stadium. And an Athletic 0, Queen of the South 1. I predicted that Queen of the South would finally get a win. They did. Marvin Bartley needed this win. I think it was 5 defeats in a row for the Queen of the South boss, so this is a massive win for him, and it does stop the rot and probably buys him a little bit more time, because I'm not saying he should be getting sacked or anything like that, but you never know football. There's no loyalty these days, and if you lose 5 in a row, then you're going to start to feel the pressure. So it's a good win for him, and maybe they can kick on now and try and start climbing up the league table and get into those playoff spots. Hamilton 1, Edinburgh City 1. Wasn't expecting this. We've got Hamilton, who are joint top with Falkirk, versus Edinburgh City, who are, dead last in the table. But Edinburgh City did manage to come back for a goal behind. They got themselves a draw, got themselves a point. Good result for them. They're still winless, though, since the season began, so they need to start getting 3 points. They need to start picking up victories, but a point away from home against Hamilton at New Douglas Park, nobody expected them to get that, so it is a good result for them, a good point for them, and hopefully now they can kick on. And at Stirling Albion versus Falkirk, it was 2-1 to the league leaders, and the amount of yellow cards in this game was pretty crazy. I mean, look at that. I mean, there was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. How do you even get 11 yellow cards? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Ross McLeaver put Falkirk ahead. Then it was Aaron Dunsmore that equalised for Stirling before Brad Spencer on the 83rd minute put Falkirk back in front. I was going to say 7 minutes from time, but look how much time they ended up playing. Leighton Bisland was booked in the 100th minute, so they played a lot of extra time at the Gallo Bank, or no, the Fourth Bank Stadium even, so not quite sure why There was so much extra time played there, but Falkirk did hold on, and in the end, they now move clear of Hamilton at the top of the table. They've gone to 26 points. Hamilton on 24. We can see that win for Queen of the South moves them up into 6th place with 12 points. Still very close here. I mean, you look at this, outside of the top two, from Montrose down to like Annan Athletic, it's very, very tight, but already you can see that Edinburgh City are cut off at the bottom, and they do need to find some wins in order to try and get themselves into this, well, not even mid-table battle, but just try and get themselves out of the automatic relegation position. So it's going to be tough for them, but I mean, who knows? Good point against Hamilton. Maybe they can kick on with that. We move into Championship now. Dunfermline 0, Ayr United 1. I got this one wrong. I said Dunfermline would win. I was wrong. Logan Chambers with the goal. I believe the former Dundee United man. Anyway, speaking of Dundee United, what a game this was. I expected. I said Partick Thistle 3-2. And wow, was I wrong. I was massively wrong. It finished Dundee United 5, Partick Thistle 0 now. We did see Partick go down to 10 men, but the damage was already done at that point. Dundee United had a 3-0 lead away from home, and then Kevin Holt with 2 late goals completed a 5-0 win for United and a hat-trick for himself. So what a win that is for United and Jim Goodwin. And if there was any doubt who the favourites are for the Championship, I think Dundee United proved with 100% faith that it is them, because I just don't see anyone catching them now. I did say Partick Thistle at the beginning, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with Dundee United now. I think they will walk the league, and they blew Partick Thistle away, so fair play to them. And then on the Friday game, it was Airdrieonians 1, Queen's Park 1, and that means the league table looks like this. So Dundee United still unbeaten after 9 games, 21 points, have only drawn 3 games and won 7, or won 6 even, if I get the maths right. So they're doing good. They've not been invincible, but they've been better than the other teams, and that's all you need to do. If you want to win a league title, all you need to do is be better than the other 9 teams here, and at the end of the season, you will be top of the standings. So it's Dundee United leading Raith Rovers, who do have a game in hand, so Raith Rovers can still get the gap down to 1 point if they do win their game in hand, and they look like they're the only ones that can potentially challenge Dundee United at this stage. Partick Thistle with that defeat, they've lost 5 goal difference, and Dundee United now have gained 5, so it's a 10 goal difference swing, and that now effectively gives Dundee United an extra point over them. So yeah, just a mad result. Airdrieonians, after getting promoted last season, find themselves in 4th place, which is pretty good. 4th place, looking decent there for a potential playoff spot. But again, I mean, you look at this league and it's so close from like Airdrie in that last playoff spot down to Queen's Park. You've got 2 points separates 5 teams. So very, very early here. There's no, I can't call it. It could go either way. I would say probably, I wouldn't even rule out Inverness, but I would say from Queen's Park up, any of these teams could get a playoff spot. So it's going to be, and it was tight last year, and I think it's going to be tight again this year in the Championship. Then we move on to the Premier League, and let's not talk about it. We kind of have to, but let's go. Hearts 1, Celtic 4. 17,000 at Tynecastle. There was a lot of empty seats before the match started, and there was even more empty seats by half time. And the longer the game went on, the lesser people that were in attendance. People were leaving. I can't really blame them. It was a shite performance for Hearts. They just got it all wrong. Stephen Naismith doesn't know what he's doing, playing fucking Shankland everywhere but up front. I mean, the guy's a goal scorer, and he's playing him in every position but up the top end of the pitch. What sense does that make? No idea. Thought it was a good goal for Matt O'Reilly. Lovely wee dink chip through ball for Palma. Riley gave Celtic a 1-0 lead, and for that minute onwards, 4 minutes in, the game was done. The game was over. You just knew Celtic were going to be victorious. So very disappointing from a Hearts perspective. I don't even think Celtic played that well, and they didn't even have to. It was too easy for them. And this is supposed to be one of the biggest fixtures. You take away the Old Firm, this is one of the biggest fixtures Scottish football has to offer. And for Celtic, there's a case you can make that this is the hardest fixture that Celtic have in Scottish football. And I'm not talking like this season or recent seasons. I'm just talking about in general. You can certainly make a case that outside of the Old Firm, this is the toughest fixture for Celtic, and there was nothing tough about it today. They won easy, so I mean, fair play to them, fair play to Brendan Rodgers. I think this is the best start they've had since the 2011 season, so goes to show you, even though we haven't been blown away by Celtic's performances, they're still getting the results, and they're still 7 points clear of their nearest rivals, so it's looking good for a title challenge for them. 4-1 winners, well deserved in the end. Kilmarnock 3, Livingston 1. Good win for Kelly, a much needed win for Kelly, and it's pretty insane because people were saying they had a good start to the season, then they went a period of games without winning, and people said they had a bad start, but this win today I'm pretty sure has boosted them back up into the top half of the table. So again, the Scottish Premiership still early on, still tight. A couple of wins can literally take you from near the bottom to near the top, and the goals for Kilmarnock today came through Daniel Armstrong, Kyle Fussell, and again Kyle Fussell on the hour mark. Sean Kelly did stroke home a penalty for Livingston, but it wasn't to be, and that's Sean Kelly now. He's got a couple of penalties. I know he scored one last time out against his brother, Liam Kelly. So today he scored one against Kilmarnock. He seems to be good for the spot, but it didn't help Livingston get anything today, and Livingston I thought were poor, so David Martindale will not be happy with that result. And then we move into the other game, the only other game, the last game that we're going to talk about. Rangers 4, Hibernian 0. The goals came from Sima, Raskin, Sima again, and then Cyril Dessers. 11 minutes for time. You know you're shite when Dessers is scoring against you, so Hibs pull the finger out. What the fuck are you doing, letting that guy score a goal against you? Close to a packed out Ibrox, 49,535 fans in there. Quite a few of those fans must have been absolute dicks because there was some vandalism, there was some graffiti, people making fun of the Ibrox disaster, and I believe there was some like IRA graffiti as well, and some negative shit about the Queen, the fact that she's dead. It's like, man, if you're going to a football game to write graffiti about some old dead woman, then you probably need to rethink what is happening in your life. So yeah, just a poor showing for the Hibernian fans, but an important win for Philippe Clement in his first game for Rangers. I mean, this could have been a tricky tie, could have been a banana peel. I mean, again, like I said about the Hearts game, Celtic, it's one of the tougher ties Celtic face all year, and same could be said here about Rangers. Always when they take on Hibernian, they normally get a tough game. I was expecting a tough game. I gave Rangers the nod. I said in my prediction 3-2 Rangers, but I expected it to be tight. I expected it to be very close, and it just wasn't. Rangers blew Hibernian away, and it was an easy win in the end for the new boss. Call it manager bounce, call it getting rid of Beale, I don't know, call it someone actually competent coming into the club. I don't know what you can call it, but it's a good start for Rangers, and it'll be interesting to see now whether or not they can continue this on. And I know a lot of the Rangers front line has been getting abuse, and rightfully so. They've been criticised because they've not been good enough, but I think Sima has scored a decent amount of goals. He's got a pretty good record, I think, since coming in. Unfortunately for Rangers, though, he's the only one that's not a permanent signing. He's only on loan from Brighton, so yeah, he will not be a Rangers player next year, yet he, out of all the forward players that have come in, looks to be the best of the bunch. And now we look at the league table. We can see after 9 games, Celtic remain on top, still unbeaten, 5 wins out of 5 away from home, and then 3 wins out of 4 at home, with that only negative result being the draw against St Johnstone 0-0, which was a really poor game for them. Rangers now do move into second. Well, they already were second, but they move clear of St Mirren, who didn't play this week. They go into 18 points, still 7 behind Celtic, but I think Rangers will feel happier about being 7 points behind this week than they will 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago they had Michael Beale in charge and just wasn't looking very good. They'd lost to Aberdeen. At least now they've got a bit of direction, they've got a bit of momentum, a bit of positivity about the club, and maybe they can look to try and close that gap rather than watch that gap extend. St Mirren still in third place, game in hand over Hearts. I expect them to get further ahead. I think St Mirren's looking good for third this year. You've got Hearts in fourth. Kilmarnock, who had fallen away, now move back in to the top half of the table, and they've got a pretty good home record. 5 games at home, 2 wins, 2 draws and a defeat. It's their away record again that is killing them. 2 draws and 2 defeats out of 4. And yeah, they're one of only 3 teams that have yet to pick up an away win. The other 2 being teams that you expect to be fighting relegation, St Johnstone and Dundee. So I think if Kilmarnock are going to be a top 6 side, they need to improve that away form. That you can't just rely on winning at home. It's not going to work like that. They need to pick up wins away from home if they're going to be mixing it in the top 6 and perhaps even try and get a sniff of a European place. But it's very, very tight in the middle of the table. You've got Hearts, Kilmarnock, Motherwell and Livingston all separated by 1 point, and then a point further back you've got Aberdeen and Hibernian. Aberdeen with a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they could go above Hearts and move into 4th. So important games for them coming up. Then you've got Dundee and Ross County in 10th and 11th, both on 7 points, but both only played 7, so big chance for Dundee and Ross County as well. I know it's unlikely, but if they can win both of their games, both Dundee and both Ross County would be on 13 points, which would put them 4th in the table. So big chance for those teams to, pick up wins now with their games in hand and move right into the top half of the table. And then, of course, we have St Johnstone, who remain bottom, 4 points after 8 games. No wins yet, the only team in the league not to pick up a win, and they need to fix that soon, because the longer that goes, I think the harder it's going to be for them to pick up a victory. And yeah, they just need to do better. They've only scored, 3 goals all season? 3 goals in 8 games, that's not good enough. 3 at home, none scored away from home. They need to do better. I mean, on the bright side, away from home, they're average. I mean, St Johnstone are only averaging 1 goal conceded every away game. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. But the problem is, they haven't scored any goals away from home. So, it's at best they can get a draw. At best they can get a draw because they just can't score away from home. So St Johnstone need to sort that out. But yeah, guys, it was a good win. A good weekend even for the Glasgow side. Celtic and Rangers both winning comfortably. Bad weekend for the Edinburgh sides. Hearts and Hibs both getting destroyed. And Partick Thistle showing us that they are not going to be any match for Dundee United in this season's championship fight for the league title. Anyway, guys, that is it. Like I said, depleted card, not that much to talk about other than some of the big results. It was basically like half a fixture list here, so hopefully these games get replayed soon and this storm can piss off and we can get a full card of Scottish football action next week. That's what we want to see. Anyway, catch you in the next one, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time, and peace.